You're paying too much for beer because your local brewery thinks you're a sucker, and honestly, they might be right. Let me show you the actual numbers. That $8 pint at your favorite tap room, add a 20% tip and you're at $9.60. Then add $1.12 in taxes and you're at $10.72. This hazy IPA right here cost me $1.70 to make. Same quality, same style, 6 times cheaper. Here's the difference. I made this hazy myself. It took a few hours and a couple weeks to ferment, but it was super fun and rewarding and way cheaper. And when I say cheaper, I'm not kidding. It beats every single commercially brewed beer option I could find in my town, whether that be beer from a brewery or 4-packs from a bottle shop or grocery store 6-packs. And that's not an opinion, it's math. And I'm about to break it down for you. But before I do that, I need to tell you that this video is sponsored by All right, let's talk about how insanely expensive craft brewery beer is compared to homebrew. Our Midwest Hazy IPA kit makes 5 gallons of finished beer and it costs $68. Like I said, that breaks down to $1.70 per pint. Compare that to a typical $15 6-pack, which costs you $3.33 per pint, and you're saving about 50%. And it only gets worse from here. Specialty IPA 4-pack prices are similarly off the rails at $19 or $4.75 per pint, which is roughly 3 times as much as it costs to make this hazy. And as I mentioned, with tax and a tip, you're looking at $10.72 per pint at my favorite local brewery. I remember when booze was $5 a pint at hotels and airports, and no matter how bad I wanted a beer, I simply refused to buy it because I was not willing to pay that much. Though that was when I was in my 20s and 30s and was completely broke. These days, I'm a bona fide thousandaire, so I can afford it. But there probably is still a lot of people out there who are balking at today's prices. And really, it's only gotten worse because the price of beer has gone way up compared to worker wages. You know what? Before I go on a rant about how billionaires are ruining my favorite hobby of blacking out on cheap alcohol, I should probably first say, before I lose everybody, that I made this beer with our 10.5 gallon brewing system, which you can find on our website for $14.99. Now, before you freak out about the price, do the math. If you're saving $8 per pint compared to brewery prices, that's $320 savings per 5 gallon batch. You'd break even in less than 5 batches, or about 200 beers. I generally brew 10 to 25 gallon batches a year, so 5 batches is nothing. And if you do that, you more or less got yourself a free brewery. Also, to make this specific beer, I used our hazy IPA kit, which features my favorite malts and hops, and is fucking delicious, to be honest. And while we're being honest, let's talk about this. You can probably get the ingredients cheaper down at your local homebrew shop. So I'll be a nice guy and I'll put the entire ingredients list later in this video. But if you buy it from us, you're getting super fresh, high quality malt from our local maltster, Riverbend Malt House here in Asheville, North Carolina. And you're also supporting our local homebrew shop, which we've partnered with to bring you these kits. But regardless of which equipment you use and where you get your ingredients, here's what really matters. You are taking control when you brew your own beer. You're not paying the 6x markup for the same product you'd get at a brewery. In fact, I would say this is better because you can tweak the beer that you make to your exact specifications. And at the end of the day, you're not letting your local brewery overcharge you, and also not letting big commercial breweries treat you like a sucker. We are in a tough spot as a country right now. The cost of everything keeps going up while wages have stayed almost completely flat. People are struggling to make ends meet, and what do we hear? We hear that immigrants are the problem, or the other half of the country is the problem. If those were really the problems, then why are only some of us suffering? The people at the top seem to be doing just fine. The billionaires are literally richer than they've ever been. The corporations are posting record profits, CEOs are getting massive bonuses, while everyone else is getting squeezed. You ever think about the fact that the real issue that we're facing as a country today might not be your neighbor, who actually you think is a nice person other than the fact that they subscribe to a different political philosophy than you do, or that the real issue issue might not be the landscaper working in your other neighbor's yard who's just here trying to make a better life for themselves. You ever think about the fact that the real issue might be that we're living in a system where a small handful of people at the top keep taking more while the rest of us are just fighting over scraps? I think about that sometimes. It feels like the people at the top just want us divided and pointing fingers at each other so we don't look up and see exactly what it is that they are doing, which is literally just looting the system at this point. I think what they want us fighting is a culture war, but I think that's also just a distraction from the real war, which is a class war. And because of the fact that we're not even aware it's really a class war, those of us at the bottom are getting absolutely crushed. So what can you do? Well, I have no idea. My suggestion is to brew beer at home to save some money. But also, maybe we should stop bitching at each other about silly, petty things and just let everyone live their own lives. It's not gonna fix everything, but it's a start. So that's my rant. Anyway, back to the actual topic of this video, which is this awesome beer. It is what I am calling a Midwest Hazy. It's like a New England IPA, but with a sharper edge and more bitterness similar to a West Coast IPA. I use crush hops, which are fruity, but also have this slight resinous woody character, which I really love. I recently had a couple of my friends give it a try, and here's what they said.
Dude, that's actually like absolutely delicious. For a hazy IPA, I feel like a lot of them are like very like acidic, or sometimes they have like citrus flavors, whereas this one's more like creamy and relatively heavy on the hops, which I actually like.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to describe beers that well, but like this tastes like something that you would buy at a brewery. Like,
yeah. You don't get any bitterness? You get some bitterness in there?
I do get some bitterness, but in a pleasant way. I definitely get more of like the woody, like earthy notes for sure.
Right.
That's probably my favorite beer that you guys have ever made.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
You got a hazy, huh?
Yeah.
Looks good. Do you need the can?
Yeah, bring the can.
All right.
Get into it, man.
All right, man. Looks good. I like the opaque right here. It's a good. Whoa, that smells good. Did you brew this?
Yeah.
Did you brew this? Is this Voodoo Ranger?
No,
You look at me when I'm talking to you.
No,
All right. This smells really good. This is phenomenal. This is really good. This is a good feeling too, because usually when I homebrew, I can't drink it, you know, but this is really drinkable. This is the type of beer that messes with your head because it makes you want to start a brewery, you know? And then you ask your parents for money and it goes out of business in 3 years and you have this to blame. I'd be really happy if I brewed this.
Nice. Thanks, dude. For a 5-gallon batch, you're gonna need 7 pounds of Riverbend Chesapeake Pilsner malt, 2 pounds of white wheat malt, 1.5 pounds of flaked oats, and 8 ounces of Riverbend Great Chip malt. Here are all of the hops, but broken down in the way you'd add them to the brew day. 1 ounce of crushed pellets added with 10 minutes left in the boil. Then cut the heat, chill down to 170, and add 3 ounces of Citra plus another 2 ounces of crush, 1 ounce of Amarillo, and 1 ounce of Mosaic. Backing up, you should add half a Campton tablet to the water before you mash in. All of this is included in our recipe kit. Depending on what kind of brewing system you're using, you're gonna add anywhere from 7 1/4 to like 8 gallons of water. The directions on our recipe kit are tailored for our system, but if you're using a different system, you could probably just roll with the same amount, to be honest, or you can pop the recipe into a brewing calculator such as Beersmith or something like that, and it will tell you exactly what to do. I mashed at 149 degrees for 60 minutes on this one. I did a mash out at 170 degrees for 10 minutes, and then the boil was 60 minutes long. After everything was all said and done, I transferred the beer to a fermenter. I used our 6.5 gallon oversized keg fermenter, and then I let it ferment at about 1/4 bar of pressure at room temperature for 10 days. Then I did a closed transfer to a fresh keg to minimize oxygen exposure. After that, I chilled to serving temperature and put it on tap. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody. I'll see you on the next one.